So I've been riding for a while now, and I only have one question. Where do the people out in this area get gas? Because literally, I've been riding for over 100 miles, and the last gas station I remember seeing was back in Irvington, Georgia. What up, YouTube? We're back on another video, except for today we are in the LYRIQ-V. And what I want to find out is, can the LYRIQ-V beat the Tesla Model Y performance? Can the fastest Cadillac ever produced beat the juggernaut of the Model Y performance? We're going to put that to the test, and not just on the interstate, but on rural Georgia roads. So come along, let's make a trip. All right, so as you can see, we are sitting at 100%, and we are estimated at 319 miles. But you and I both know that's not going to do that. This Cadillac LYRIQ-V is rated for 285 miles, but it gets good efficiency when riding around town. So again, we want to see how well it does out on the road in rural Georgia and compare to its closest competitor, the Model Y. Hey Google, take me to Hartwell, Georgia.
Okay, navigating to Hartwell, Georgia.
Your route avoids road closures on Georgia 80 North. You're on the best route. You should reach your destination by 11:05 a.m.
All right, so it says it's 157 miles, 2 hours and 53 minutes, and we should reach there with 58% state of charge. That said, I should have enough to go there and come back, but it's a charging desert up there, so I don't know. All right, let's get this ride cracking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this ride today is not just going to be a car review. It is actually going to be a discussion on luxury versus technology. And when you start thinking about EVs and you start thinking about the EV space, everybody thinks Tesla. I mean, they've been doing it so long, and they've become so great at it. So, but the genuine question I have today is, can a luxury EV actually feel better than a Tesla on a real world trip through rural Georgia? We're not talking interstate highways. We're not talking, metro city. We're talking deep rural roads. Let's see how it goes.
And want to get out a lot more. I said, now look, I can't come get you every day. Come and go and ride somewhere. But so I'll see. She already texted me, what's on the agenda for today? I said, chapter. That's what's on the agenda.
Did y'all ever figure out who y'all was gonna? All right, our EV and car enthusiasts. As we mentioned, this Cadillac LYRIQ-V is the quickest Cadillac that they produced. It goes from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. It has 600 horsepower. So, how does that translate in real world? We're not talking about the numbers. We're talking about the experience. Does the luxuriousness of the Cadillac make you want to pay that little bit of extra for the technology that comes with the Tesla? So today we're going to compare luxury versus tech. And let me tell you, in this Cadillac V, one of the main reasons why my wife and I purchased this vehicle is after we went and test drove the Tesla, after we've rented Teslas on some of our trips that we've been on around the country, we were looking for something that was a little bit more luxurious. We didn't want to spend quite the amount of money that you would have to pay for the Model S or the Model X, even though it's still high on our thoughts and concepts. But at the price point that we wanted to pay, the LYRIQ-V offers us, in my opinion, everything that we need as far as power, as well as the luxury and convenience that we need. This vehicle has massaging seats, front and back. Oh, I'm sorry, just front, passenger and driver. It has heated and ventilated seats, passenger and driver. I don't think you get that with the Model Y. So let's go through this trip. We have a 3-hour ride to Hartwell, Georgia, going through some very rural areas, and let's go. Let's see how this actually shakes out. Now, we've done a lot of road trips where we've been on the interstate, but we haven't done any long road trips on back roads and areas that are kind of rural that may not have the charging infrastructure. So as I looked on my route planner last night, we only passed one fast charger, and then we passed one level 2 charger. So this will be kind of interesting to see how we get from an efficiency layout, from a mileage standpoint, and we're gonna have a good time today. All right, so we have been riding for about 40 miles now, and we are averaging 2.4 miles per kilowatt, and so that's pretty good. We're averaging probably about 65 miles an hour, so hopefully we can get up around that 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 miles per kilowatt to increase our efficiency. But again, this is not about efficiency. This is about a comparison between luxury and tech. And speaking of luxury, I am going to go ahead now and turn on my seat massage, and we're going one of the things that my wife and I picked up right away when we started driving or test driving the Cadillac was the cabin and just how luxurious it felt. You know, Cadillacs have always been synonymous with luxury, and so just take a listen. How quiet it is, even on the bumpy, rural roads of Georgia. The tire noise is so much less than in the Tesla. So minimal. The silence. Man, if you didn't have your radio on, you know, if you're the type of person that you just need some silent time when you're riding, this is the vehicle for you.
Road.
All right, so let's talk about the ride quality. In all the Teslas that I've driven, the Teslas feel stiff and sporty. When you get in this bad boy, it exudes nothing but luxury. So in some ways, when I first began looking at the LYRIQ-V, I used to think of it as a sports car trying to be a luxury vehicle. Not anymore. Now I know and understand that this is a total luxury vehicle with a lot of sport-like amenities. What a ride in this LYRIQ-V. What a ride. So even on rural roads, the Super Cruise is working hands-free just fine. And it's like every day GM is adding more and more miles to where you can ride hands-free. And this is actually a step up from the auto steer of Tesla, because with the auto steer of Tesla, you have to put your hands on the wheel every so often, or you have to have some pressure on the wheel so you don't constantly get nagged about putting your hands on the wheel. In this Super Cruise, this is total hands off, total hands, feet off the pedals. It does everything for you on mapped roads. All right, so we are coming up on 100 actual miles driven. And if you remember when we started this trek, it said that we had 309 miles of electric range. Well, at 65% state of charge, we have 206 miles of range, which means for this 100 miles, we actually got 96, almost 97 miles, road miles for the electric miles. That is very good on the efficiency.
Subject to credit approval, offer subject to change, terms apply.
City's been so good. souls that were hurting. Because some child watch your mama run from pillar to post. Call on your souls that
So let me tell you, the more I drive this Cadillac V, the more that I am impressed and the more that I truly believe that this is now what they call the Tesla killer. Even I'm learning more and more about this vehicle every time I drive it. So what I learned today was the adaptive cruise control not only deals with the intervals between cars that you're passing or cars that are behind you to get over when you're on the interstate, but it also is the adaptive cruise control that deals with taking curves and steep curves and stuff like that. So as I am riding and still riding in Super Cruise, and the roads that are being mapped are becoming more and more. So what I'm finding is I go around these steep curves, the adaptive cruise control actually slows down to a point where it feels that the car can safely take the curves. Man, I'm telling you, this thing is blowing my mind. So I've been riding for a while now, and I only have one question. Where do the people out in this area get gas? Because literally, I've been riding for over 100 miles. And the last gas station I remember seeing was back in Irvington, Georgia. Wow. So, man, this is a charging desert out here. I don't know how an electric vehicle owner would survive out here unless they had charging at home, because I am deadly serious. I have been riding for well over 100 miles, and it's been back roads the entire time since I left Irvington, Georgia, and I haven't seen a gas station. So it tells me I'm supposed to get to my destination with 50% state of charge, and I'm sure Hartwell has some gas stations up there, but I don't think they have any electric vehicle stations. So I am going to have to do some serious planning on how I am going to make it back home this afternoon, and where I'm going to find a place to charge. I do know that there's a level 2 charger down the road somewhere, and there is a fast charger on down once you get closer to Soperton, and there's one other place that I can't remember the name of right now. So if you made it with me this far, stay tuned, because man, this is gonna get dicey. So as I'm sitting here hanging out and just thinking about how luxurious the inside of this car is, comparing it to Tesla, I'm starting to think more and more that my wife and I made the correct choice with the purchase of this LYRIQ-V. The stereo system in here, wow, out of sight. There's even gaming. While I am hanging out here in Hartwell, Georgia, I decided to watch me a movie. So I'm watching John Wick, the ballerina. And so I am sitting here with 49% state of charge, 156 miles of range left. And so yeah. So I've been here chilling, watching a movie. And I think I am going to hang out a little bit longer, watch the rest of the movie. And then there's supposed to be a lake around here somewhere, like a real big scenic lake. And I think I'm really, really close to South Carolina because it says something about the lookout, the overlook or something like that. So I'm going to try to find those couple of places, go take some pictures. Too bad that the LYRIQ has been eaten up by bugs and stuff like that. So I probably won't get any close-ups because the pictures might not come out like I want them to. And it's kind of a dreary day out here today. It looks like it wants to rain. I'm not sure if it will. But anyway, yeah, so that's what we've been doing. So we're going to hang out a little while longer, finish watching the movie, and then go see if we can find those two sites, and then we'll work our way back to Dublin. So we are now chilling out on Lake Hartwell, a place that I've never heard of before until recently. And so what a day riding in this luxurious LYRIQ-V to see scenery like this. What a day. Calm, the ocean, I'm at the lake. That's what we bought this car for, to experience things that we've never experienced. And I tell you, after riding in this thing all day, there's no way that a Tesla Model Y Performance could be as comfortable as this. Look at the body lines on Lazarus. You know, after today, I can honestly say that I understand this car. The LYRIQ-V isn't trying to beat Tesla. It's trying to make the road special again. And for me, it has done that. So what car would I want to road trip? If I'm looking for speed, technology, FSD, you can't argue with Tesla. But for me and my wife, when we're traveling, we pay a premium for comfort versus technology, versus speed, versus many of the things that Tesla offers. This Cadillac LYRIQ-V can't go wrong. Will I buy a Tesla? Who knows what the future will hold. Will I get rid of my LYRIQ-V? Man, it'd have to be something mighty, mighty wrong for me to do that. We've got a lot more EV road trips coming up for you, and we've even got a poll out on Facebook now. So go over to our Facebook, and we've got a poll out there asking you which location would you like to see us road trip our EQS next. And we're looking at going back to Washington, D.C., going to Shreveport, Louisiana, or Dallas, Texas. So which one of those three locations do you think we should trip to next. All right, so we have made it out of the desert. Man, I tell you, I didn't know if I was gonna make this one. I was worried because I was out in the country. I was out. I don't even got the faintest clue where I was at. But anyway, we have made it to Athens, Georgia, and we are at a Mercedes-Benz charging station. So let's get hooked up. I'm curious to see if my plug-in charge works on this particular vehicle. If not, I'll have to do the payment process. So let's look and see what happens. So here is the Mercedes charger. It's prepping the session. There's the clicker, it just started. So we're at 47 kilowatts. $102, $118. At 29%, we're probably gonna level out probably. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say 170, but it gave me an extra 15 or an extra 11. All right, so let's get in the car and see what's happening. All right, so it says that I have 122 miles in order to get home, and right now I have 102 mile range. So we're going to let this go up to see if I can get it focused better. So we're going to let this go up to where I get probably 13% to give myself a little bit of a buffer. And so we're going to be here. We won't be here the full 40 something minutes that it says we need to be here, because we're not going to go all the way up to whatever the percentage it was that it wanted. So once I see this number here get to 13, we'll be out of here. So this is actually a pretty good charging stop because if I was hungry, you've got a burrito place there, you've got Shane's Rib Shack, you got Pizza Hut, Doghouse Nutrition is closed already, but this is a pretty good stop to be coming out of the middle of nowhere. So let's see how much longer we got, and then we'll be out of here. So final stat on the day's trip was 372 miles. We averaged 3, check that out, 3 watt hours or miles per kilowatt hour, which is fantastic. Which, you know, that came from riding on the rural roads. And so, man, this thing is a beast. So we made it home with 10% state of charge. So I'm tired. Time for a good shower and a good sleep.